there's a big weekend to come, weekend after next here in Leigh, because all three Leigh sides, the Leigh Miners, Rangers, Leigh East and the Centurions, are involved in the Challenge Cup the weekend after next. All three will be playing on this pitch Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I bet the ground staff are looking forward to that. Tonight it's the Centurions who are in action in the Championship, ahead at the break 12 points to 6 against the Barrow Raiders. The champions, of course, the Raiders, after last year's campaign. They're trailing here just by 6 points. Some wag has already suggested that they're going for the bonus point here tonight. That's cruel. That is cruel. They've had adversity already this evening, as we've mentioned, with Nixon breaking his arm, Andy Braychek picking up a knock. I'm not sure if there's any sign of Braychek returning either. Touchline sleuth Brian Carney will be on the case. That's a good kick, strong kick, and Donlan back there to field it for the Leigh Centurions.
And that is what Steve McCormack will have said, the direction of the coach at half-time. You look for him as a player, and I say you've got to play the game down the other end of the park. That's where Leigh was so dominant. In fact, in the first half, Leigh had 43 play the balls in the opposition's half, in Barrow's half, while Barrow only had 19. And it was the second phase rugby that Leigh come up with 8 offloads compared to Barrow didn't come up with 1 offload whatsoever. Steve McCormack will be looking to improve that, to give Jamie Rooney a bit of a chance going forward.
Armitstead tackled. Pops the pass up to Tyrone McCarthy. Just 21 years of age, the Irish international. Plays the ball, that's the 5th tackle. And Hartley just steps outside his 40. Puts the kick in, under pressure. Good pressure it was as well from the Barrow Raiders.
That's the value of kick pressure. Gary Broadbank catches that ball on the full because Leigh were unable to just pick the point where they're going to kick it. It's more like, let's just get rid of it.
Hold. Go.
Ballard takes the tackle. Didn't think much of it.
Move.
And
10 meters.
Up to the halfway line. Here's Coyle. Here's Katic now. Katic runs straight into Lee Mitchell.
Let's fall. Movement.
Here's Chris Young. Young in trouble with the referee towards the end of that first half, but this time he's got the penalty. Offside against the Leigh Centurions, and Rooney takes a quick tap, takes him on, and benefits from a bit of confusion in the Leigh defence there, as Lulawai and Armitstead, I think it was, collided, and Rooney just ricocheted off them and got all the way to the shadow of those posts. Here is Coyle now, and Coyle almost through a gap there. And Barrow Raiders looking for a big start to this second half. It's with Nathan Mossop trying to jink his way through, and the Leigh defence under a bit of pressure. But not the best pass from Coyle to Luisi, who had to check and take that one behind him. 4 tackles gone. Mossop, they've lost the momentum they had from that Rooney break. Here is Coyle now. Here is Rooney again. Short pass from Rooney. And they get the ball back. And Noon out wide, and Ballard gets the try. And what a great try that is for the Barrow Raiders. Rooney's break was the catalyst for it. And Andy Ballard gets his first try of the season, finishing off that move. And Paul Noon playing in the centres there, serving up the pass.
This try all resulted from the break. Watch this, quick reactions from Rooney. Taps the ball, asks Gareth Hewitt, can I tap it? And he goes. And from that second, they're putting pressure on Leigh. Watch the Leigh defenders all flooding forward, trying to second guess who's going to guess the ball. And we see just at the top of the screen, the winger, Steve Maiden, just makes the wrong decision. We'll watch it again. He wants to come in, number 2. He'll come into your screen in a second. From that minute there, from when Fletcher bumped a player off, he's in no man's land. And that allows Ballard to just stick the ball in the corner and get Barrow back into this game.
Andy Ballard, as you saw, one of the try scorers in that grand final victory against Halifax. Halifax kicking their championship campaign off with a game against Sheffield Eagles this weekend. Rooney then with this conversion attempt. He's already kicked 13 goals this season as Jamie Rooney, but this one is a tricky run right out on the touchline. Has it got the legs? He's missed with that one. So a good start to this second half for the Barrow Raiders, already cutting the deficit. They could do with some good news on the injury front. I wonder if Brian Carney has any news on Andy Braychek.
We managed to grab a quick word with Andy Braychek as he emerged from the dressing rooms. Badly gashed upper lip and the inside of his mouth. That's probably going to require stitching. However, he said he's putting his hand up and he's ready to go out again should he be needed.
Well, the Welsh international will be keen to get back out there, part of an all-international front row for the Barrow Raiders, with Andrew Henderson of Scotland and Rob Roberts, another Welsh international. And here's Chris Young, Lancashire-born, raised in Wollongong, plays the ball for the Barrow Raiders. So it's a real gutsy performance, this, from the Raiders, because with that Nixon injury, they've been up against it virtually from the word go.
And that'll give them a lot of confidence that the first time that they really get down there and pressure this Leigh side's line, that they come up with the try. They're throwing the ball around, they're looking to play rugby every time they can, and that try just simply come about because Richard Fletcher was prepared to run hard and offload the ball.
Here is Rooney now, and again they've got it wide, and again Ballard is the recipient of the pass from Noon, and now Ballard back in field, and Harrison, great tackle. What a good tackle that was, because Harrison was through there, but they're not done yet. And then the interception chance almost for Steve Maiden. Ballard would have been in, but again some great play from this Barrow Raiders side.
Superb play from Barrow. Just watch the gear kick in. Noon passes it to Ballard. Bang, he puts the accelerator down. There's Barrow players in the picture. Fantastic tackle, last ditch effort from Leigh in defence. And Steve Maiden goes for the ball, puts the ball in touch but saves a certain try.
Or has he? Because here come the Barrow Raiders again with Luisi. Luisi going on the outside, and the pass is into touch. It was there. An opportunity for Danny Hallowell. Steve McCormack knows that.
What about the balance? Look at this. He steps outside, they show him the outside. He's just got too much speed. But the pass to Hallowell. And again, look, Maiden went for that interception. If he didn't, Ballard was in for the corner. Again, they're just looking to play rugby league Barrow every time they get down here. That's why they must complete the set to 6.
Well, that's a wake-up call for this Leigh Centurion side. There's still a sting in this Barrow Raiders team. We thought they looked out on their feet towards the end of that first half, but they've come alive at the start of the second. They've already got points on the board, and they've been close on another 2 occasions.
The Leigh crowd just putting pressure on the referee. Tackle before Nathan Mossop. I think he clipped a Leigh player.
Obstruction there. McGrath, Luluai and Dame Armstead getting into a tangle.
And again now, because of all the pressure that Barrow are putting on the Leigh, you look at Armstead, he goes behind Luluai. They're coming up with simple mistakes now. You can see Luluai goes through, he doesn't pass the ball, he goes behind the man, and that's why they get the penalty.
Mossop. Here's Coyle for Rob Roberts. Roberts tackled on the edge of the penalty box. Coyle. Here's Fletcher. That pass was forward. That's a shame. That attack came to nothing. Well, this Barrow Raiders side showing plenty of character, plenty of guts. They probably get that from their chairman, Des Johnston, who underwent a quadruple heart bypass operation back in December at the end of the season, and Steve McCormack shows his anguish, and Des Johnston happily well recovered after spending 8.5 hours in surgery having that operation, but he's back in charge of the Barrow Raiders club, and he'll be impressed with the way they're sticking in here.
Desi doesn't do anything by halves, does he? He'll be very happy by the way that they've come back out. And again, there's some real fire in this Barrow side early in this second half. There he is.
There's Des.
Sometimes Des gets more pumped up for these games than his team does.
I think Barrow just need to camp down at this end of the pitch. They don't need to score off every opportunity, but then again, they don't need to invite Leigh back into this game through silly errors.
Broadbent retrieves that kick which Robbie Paul put in, and Robbie Paul is there to make the tackle. Well, he might be in the twilight of his career, Robbie Paul, at 34 years of age, just. but he's still a live wire, and the error from Halliwell has conceded possession in a crucial part of the field.
They didn't need this. They didn't need this. It's a sloppy pickup. You can see him looking the opposite side to which way he was going to run. He just lost control of that ball. He's put his teammates under all kinds of pressure, but can they defend this set?
McConnell for Robbie Paul. He's tackled by Young. Here's Jake Emmett now. Emmett plays the ball. The ball shipped out wide, really wide. Maiden comes back in field. Desperate defence from Ballard and from Paul Noon. Here is Hartley now. Hartley, Armitstead trying to offload, he does. Via McConnell to Hartley. Now here's Lee Mitchell. Mitchell. Tackled by Liam Harrison, 4 tackles gone. Just short of that try line. Here's Robbie Paul now, stabs a little kick in, too strong, Broadbent just makes sure that one runs dead.
Leigh seemed happy to ship big, long 20, 15-metre passes. There's the kick from Robbie Paul, just a little bit too long there. I'm not sure whether the short pass isn't the option. The ball going from side to side to side, and all it does is the defensive line just moves on.
So just 2 points in it. Leigh ahead by that penalty kicked at the end of the first half. Katic plays the ball, and Henderson on the run. The Scottish international hooker, Torquay-born, back at Barrow where it all began for him. Well, it actually began at Salford, but it was Barrow where he really got a break. The kick from Rooney. Oh, and Donlan, so reliable normally, has made a mess of that, and really you'd have put your house on Stuart Donlan gathering that one.
You can see he's very hesitant. He goes backwards, then he goes forwards. He doesn't put himself in the right position. Very uncharacteristic mistake by Stuart Donlan.
So, an error at one end, which Leigh weren't able to capitalise on. And now the error up the other end. Can Barrow make something of this? Here is Luisi, and Luisi, he's come alive in this second half. He's already had one good run that almost set up a try for Halliwell.
He's got great balance, Zeb Luisi.
Here is Fletcher, and Fletcher, almost barrelling his way over the try line. He's Barrow's Mick Nannin, really, is Richard Fletcher. Very skillful player. Here's Luisi again. Rob Roberts. Roberts holding the ball in one hand. Gets away from the tackle of McConnell. Rooney, short pass for Katic, great offload, lovely hands, and Harrison gets the try, gives it to Danny Halliwell. He almost blew it. Liam Harrison was within just inches there of catastrophe, and he managed to get the ball to Danny Halliwell, and Halliwell said thank you very much indeed for his second try of the season, and Barrow Raiders go back in front.
If Stuart Donlan tried to catch 100 bombs, he'd only drop one of them, and unfortunately for him and Leigh, it was an important one. Nice short passes, direct running, short passes. But what is Liam Harrison doing here? See if I can get over the line and pass it to somebody else. Steve McCormack will be having kittens over that. Just get the ball down, lad. To rescue him, he may have been trying to improve the angle, step back inside, make it a bit easier for his kicker, but just put it down.
Jamie Rooney then with an awkward conversion attempt, but he'll try and swing this one in. Oh, agonisingly close from Rooney. Shake of the head from the former England international, but in this seesaw game, the Barrow Raiders are back in front by 14 points to 12. But oh, that could have been a comedy moment.
It just shows, doesn't it? You cannot invite him down. Harrison. Oh. What am I doing? You have it! There's a try by Halliwell.
Go for it, Jamie.
Dave Armitstead very nearly managed to save the situation there for the Leigh Centurions. Another inch, and it would have been video ref time, I suspect.
From the 10, Tommy.
But here is Harrison, and Harrison's got away, and Blythe is chasing him back. Ankle tap from Matty Blythe. And in the end, it's Donlan who makes the tackle, and the Barrow Raiders have really come out firing in this second half. Here's Rooney now. Here's Luisi. Luisi pops the pass up for Young.
Look at that.
Chris Young will motor towards the posts and get the try for his second of the season. What a turnaround this is. Cool as you like. Steve McCormack, the Barrow Raiders coach. And Chris Young, where did he come from? And what a turn of pace from the Bury-born prop forward.
Barrow make a break deep in their own half. It's Liam Harrison, a right fend. He gets in a bit of space but decides to take the tackle. Correct decision. Let's play the ball. The golden rule is get it to the other side of the pitch. A short pass from Zeb Luisi, and look at the big fella go. He's absolutely thrilled to bits. Gets into the open space. He's got a good running action. He's practiced that from the age of 6. When I get in the clear, that's what I'm going to do.
Well, the Leigh supporters chanting some very unkind things about Chris Young's girth, but whatever it is, he had the speed there to get to the line, and that's what mattered. Now, Jamie Rooney, 1 from 4 from him, uncharacteristically hit and miss night with the boot. That's a hit. Rooney on target, and the Barrow Raiders 20 points to 12 ahead, having been 12-6 down at the break. And those Raiders supporters who've made the journey, not an easy one in the current weather conditions. Well, they've enjoyed certainly what they've seen of this second half so far.
Barrow have so many talented players who look up, they look for the speed of the ruck. That's the big indicator for them. Is it going to be a quick play? If it is, are the Leigh defenders really tight? If they are, we'll go outside him, and that's all that Liam Harrison done there. It was fantastic play by the centre.
Ian Millwood with problems to deal with here, because a game that his side looked to be taking control of is just slipping away from them at the moment.
Well, what Leigh have gone away from now is the whacking the tackle. In the first 25 minutes of the first half, they were just banging them. Look at the missed tackles by Leigh, 16-3. They cannot do anything about it again. Looking to play, looking to second phase.
Well, I was going to say they can't get the ball, but they've got it now.
I think there was a hand in there. Ned Katic disappointed with the result of that. Is there a hand in? Oh, it's hard to say. I think you've got to judge that the player with the ball has to control it. He tries to offload it. Lee Mitchell just stops him from doing that.
But Steve McCormack will be happy, because they didn't come up with one offload in the first half. The 2 offloads that they have come up with in this half, they've scored tries.
It's 20 points to 12, Tez. You only have to win the game once.
Here is Nanin. Barreling run from this big centre. McConnell. Here's Armitstead. Armitstead's offload. McConnell again.
Oh, they're flat. Leigh are flat. They're receiving them offloads. Nowhere to go.
Armitstead once more. Once a Barrow Raiders player, Dave Armitstead. Plays the ball at 10 metres out. Opportunity here for the Leigh Centurions. Donlan trying to atone for that earlier error. Cut down by the tackle from Katic. Robbie Paul now. Here is McGrath Luluai trying to go outside Coyle, but Coyle sticks to him and makes the tackle. That's the 5th. Robbie Paul, will he hoist this one across the field? He will do. That's going to be too strong for everybody. And in fact, the penalty awarded for offside against the Leigh chasers. Olstead it was who was in front.
Olstead trying to judge his chase from Robbie Paul's kick. I wasn't sure on first glance, and I'm not sure on the second either. They make it a competition.
I'm going to give him 10, boys.
Either way, Barrow get the ball back.
Go.
Here's Ned Katic, tackled on his own 40-metre line.
Onside way. Go.
Brett McDermott's back on the field.
Second, move.
Henderson
Go.
pulling the strings for this Barrow Raiders side. Broadbent, Coyle under pressure, good pressure from Nannin, up quickly on Zeb Luisi.
Go.
Here is Chris Young. Memorable try for him in this second half.
On the line and wait. Go.
Rooney puts the kick in over the head of Steve Maiden. It's not a bad one. And Maiden is going to run this one back. Chase isn't bad. It's cut down Maiden just outside his own goal area. And now, ooh, a lazy slap really there from Liam Harrison, and he was probably lucky to get away with that, or lucky it didn't end up worse.
There's the little swing by Harrison. Rooney happy with kicking on the fourth tackle. He's asking his big challengers to try and dominate down this end of the park. This is what's given real big success in this second half.
There's Tommy Golden off the bench for the Leigh Centurions, and Mitchell thumps a kick up the field, and really to no avail there, and it's Gary Broadbent who runs it back.
Lee Mitchell, not a natural kicker, just gets that kick away, and Gary Broadbent catches it on the full. They're on the 40-metre line. Again, Barrow doing the best and making the best of the opportunities they're being given.
Both sides a little bit static now, just is the pace of the... I mean, it's bound to tell, isn't it? It's early season.
But even the retreat from this Barrow side in the second half, they're getting behind the ball a lot quicker and offering themselves. There's a lot more push, there's a lot more motion, there's a lot more players pointing.
Henderson goes down the short side. Danny Halliwell is tackled. And Halliwell, I think, is struggling at the moment. It looks like a touch of cramp as Rooney puts a teasing kick in, and that's just going to be too strong.
20.
Leigh need the experience of Robbie Paul here. 20 points to 12, they need to get something. Robbie Paul's on the ball now.
The Barrow Raiders have come out firing at the start of this second half. They don't want to go back into their shell, do they?
Bill, all they've done, they've got more energy because they've controlled the ball and they've got to the kick. They've not given penalties away, and that's why they look so strong at the moment.
Remember, no James Nixon. Andy Braychek, as yet, no sign of return for him with this nasty cut in the mouth.
Armisted's worked hard in this second half.
So Barrow Raiders down in terms of options for coach Steve McCormack from the bench. Leigh trying to lift things a bit with Chris Hill.
Speaking of lifting things, Ian Millward's now sent back on John Duffy. Tried to inject a bit of pace around the dummy half.
Hartley hoists the kick, but it's going to be taken by Ballard, and Ballard retreats towards his own try line and then takes the tackle from Steve Maiden. Now here's Broadbent.
Second move.
2 tackles gone, and Leigh looking to pin this Barrow Raiders side down in their own territory and then force the error. Chris Young clinging to that ball as the tacklers came in. Armitstead again involved. Well, he's pumped up for this one against his former club.
That's fourth move.
McDermott, 4 tackles gone.
Restricted them to just 10 metres. Really making them work hard, Leigh now.
Oh, Katic's pass, and that is what Leigh wanted. And Katic really didn't give Chris Young much chance there.
I'll tell you what, that ball was on. Might be at the wrong part of the pitch. The pass is good. He hits the target. Just watch this, lovely footwork. Chris Young, unfortunately, can't grab hold of it.
Don't think Chris Young was expecting that one.
You must always expect the ball builders. No such thing as a dummy runner. You push up in support, and if you get the ball, that's the bonus.
So why did you drop so many?
You were a professional dummy runner, but that's because you're a dummy.
Yeah, it started already. First one of the season, and they're at it.
I was just thinking about the song that they were singing.
Meanwhile, here come Leigh Centurions with Nannin on the charge, and when Nannin's on the charge, it's like a cannonball run. Gets to his feet, plays the ball. Robbie Paul back in field to Armitstead. Oh, how he'd love to get on the scoreboard tonight, Dave Armitstead. Duffy. Tyrone McCarthy up the middle, sent in glory, but he can't get there. And again, great defence from this Barrow Raiders side. Gareth Hewer cries held. They're right on the try line now. Robbie Paul spins the ball out wide. Hartley shapes to kick. They get the ball through the middle to Donlan, but he is tackled. And again, fantastic defence from this Barrow Raiders side. And Ian Middlewood down to the sideline, wondering how on earth they didn't manage to get through there.
Again, it's the urgency in this try-line defence. They're turning up from everywhere, supporting each other, pushing from the inside, even when the lungs are popping out the chest. That's what kept them in the game in the first half, because they had the willingness to work for each other, and again, looking to move the ball.
That's the thing, Barrow looking to get out of that middle block, get away from the big fellas, the meat of that middle. That can be a dangerous ploy.
Hold, Chris, hold.
Not a bad place to surrender the ball for Leigh.
Surrender! Stand full!
The kick from Rooney, good deep one, and Donlan has to retreat to get that. Well, Thursday nights are back on Sky Sports, and next Thursday it's the annual varsity match, and Oxford University will take on Cambridge University at the Stoop, and that's on Sky Sports 3 next Thursday at 7:30. As ever, that is going to be a keenly fought game. You really do have to struggle to appreciate how much that means to those two sides. Never mind Wigan Saints or Leeds Bradford. This is the one game of the year. All else is completely insignificant to Oxford and Cambridge.
The Oxford-Cambridge game, if you tell to the players who play in that, they'll say it's bigger than the Wigan Saints game.
Oh, big hits on Chris Hill, I think it was. Still some sting in this Barrow Raiders defence. Into the final quarter of the game, Armitstead. That's the fifth tackle.
A big kick to the corner from Robbie Paul.
Halliwell's retreated to that corner, anticipating that. Olstead is chasing it. Oh, Broadbeck's lost it. Matty Blythe has it. Ball back in field. And somehow Tommy Goulden, just on his knees, couldn't get there. But this is the opportunity now. Olstead looking for a second try across the field. Harrison drags him to the ground. The Leigh supporters at that end of the ground frantically cheering their side on. They know that this is a crucial phase of the game. They've got to come away with something here, because they've been close, and yet they haven't managed to penetrate this Barrow Raiders defence so far. Can they do so now? Can Robbie Paul? He can't. Armitstead can't. Fletcher with the tackle. Robbie Paul. They must be in here. Goulden's pass over the top. Matty Blythe will get the try.
Oh, was he short?
He's short, says the referee.
It's a knock-on. I think Matty Blythe loses this ball.
Okay, Rob, just see if he's dropped the ball.
Tommy Goulden throws it over the top of his head. And Matty Blythe's reaction there, and it isn't a positive one. Let's have another look at it. He's looking down at the floor. They can't tell lies, rugby players. Watch what he does here. He drops that ball.
Well spotted. Robert Hicks is the video ref. And Gareth Hewer disallows the try. And Barrow Raiders get head and feet at the scrum. And nothing will go right for the Leigh Centurions.
I talked about that urgency in this Barrow defence, and look at Ned Carrick. The amount of pressure that he puts on Blythe. He goes past Rooney, he sees that Blythe's going in for that tackle. He's not going to let him get in for that try. Fantastic work by the big second rower.
He's had a big game as Ned Carrick, another one of those vastly experienced players out there. A grand finalist in his Sydney Rooster days, ex-Penrith as well, Wakefield and Castleford.
You're right, Tez, to give him a lot of praise there. Sometimes tries win your games, and sometimes defence wins your games. Leigh have had a lot of pressure, they've had a lot of field position.
He can score tries as well, you know, Ned Carrick. He's got 4 already this season, got a hat-trick in the last game against Doncaster. So he is really a great all-round player. Steve McCormack, alongside him Dave Clark, and Dave's in the last month of his time at Barrow Raiders, had 9 years at the club. He's done virtually every job, from organising the ball boys to coaching the side and coaching them to grand final glory, and he'll be a big miss, I'm sure, for the Barrow Raiders club, but he's going to Wigan to work in their community department. It's a big opportunity for him. This is a big opportunity for Barrow Raiders to get first championship win of the season. It's Leigh, though. A sense of urgency, and they need, Brian, they need some urgency, don't they?
Absolutely, there's a lot of head scratching going on down here on the Leigh bench. They can't realise, I can't believe that they're suddenly 20 points to 12 down after being so dominant in the first half. Paul Rowley urging them to speed the game up. What the effectiveness of their passing has let them down at times. They've let Barrow off the hook, and disappointing last 20 minutes or so for the Leigh team. Pass back up to you, Bill, and Statler and Waldorf.
Got it in one. Kick into the corner, too strong, I think that is, and Halliwell happy to see that one go dead. It's funny, you know, Dave Clark was the 2009 Championship Coach of the Year, and Ian Millwood, back in his Saints days, was Super League Coach of the Year. And Millwood now back at Leigh, and the club and the supporters very much hoping that he can recapture former glories. It's a lot to ask, isn't it?
Second, hands out.
Well,
it is, really.
Ian Millwood will be looking to try and get some of his influence onto the park, because they've got to get back to what they were doing in the first half. It's as simple as that.
They're not going to win or lose the league on the first game of the season. I think what worked for them in that opening quarter was good line speed, composure and building pressure. They haven't been able to do that. Let's not take anything away from Barrow. Barrow have pressured them and made them work for every inch of field position that they've got.
But we're into the last 10 minutes, and Barrow aren't home and dry yet. But Leigh needs to get some good possession up the other end of the field. But they've had their chances, most recently that one from Matty Blythe, when he really did look as though he was home for the points. Tommy Goulden going close as well. Nannin is tackled. Oh, that's a good break from Hill. Now then, has he got support? He has great support. And Donlan will get his second of the night under the posts. And that's all it took. Donlan finishes off, but it was the break and the pass from the former England Academy international, Chris Hill, a product of the Leigh Academy, straight up the middle of the field. And what a pass it was. And Donlan on the end of it, well, committed that error at the earlier on in this second half that allowed Leigh to go in for the try, but he's atoned for that with that try.
Chris Hill has got to get all the accolades for that pass. It was an awesome pass. A bit of instinct there that he knows that Donlan will be on his inside. A missed tackle from Barrow. He rushed up in defence. I said that Stuart Donlan, if he practiced 100 catches, he'd only drop one of them. I reckon if Chris Hill practiced that move 100 times, it would only go to hand once as well.
Hartley has converted that. So 18 points to 20 now the scoreline. We are in for the sort of finish we got used to in the Championship last season. It doesn't disappoint already. We've got a real nail-biting finale on our hands here, with Barrow clinging on to this 20 points to 18 lead.
And that is the sort of lift you're looking for. You're looking for a big player off a big player, and Chris Hill has started the season in outstanding form. In the Northern Rail Cup, he's been probably the form player for this Leigh outfit.
And that's a prop. That is a rugby league
if
prop.
I remember right, last year when the Sky cameras were here, he come up with exactly the same play in the left-hand corner.
Well, it's a play that has given Leigh hope here in the closing 8 minutes now of this game, and suddenly their tails are up. And it's Barrow Raiders who are scrambling, and here is Mitchell. Katic hanging on desperately there, and I think Barrow Raiders are going to be clinging on desperately here as well. That's the fifth tackle. Hartley hoists the kick. Ballard under pressure from Maiden, and Ballard takes it well.
Oh, he's been pushed off the island
and is then shoved into touch, and Leigh will get head and feet.
Good defence by the big fella. You see Maiden goes up, he challenges it, makes it into a contest, and then big Mick Nannin comes across. He knows where the touch is, and he just slides him over the big play. off the big man himself in Mick Nanning.
John Duffy's made a massive impact since he's come back on in this second half. He's playing at hooker and he's playing at first receiver as well. Really speeded things up.
So this an opportunity for Leigh maybe to go back in front. And the Barrow Raiders now pinned to their own try line as Emmett drives the ball forward to within a couple of yards of that try line. Here's Duffy now. Robbie Paul, Leigh Mitchell, Harrison shepherding him, Mitchell fancying it himself.
Short passes, Leigh, short passes.
They're going down the short side. Blythe, though, changing direction, getting away from one. Denied a try a few moments ago. Offload to Robbie Paul. Robbie Paul to Jake Emmett. Emmett driving into the heart of the defence, looking for a quick play the ball. Gets the penalty. Now then, will they go for the 2 points? The arms are up. Do we go for 2? Robbie looks to the touchline.
I think they've got to. Oh, he's saying play on Ian Millward.
Ian Millward tells them to get on with it.
Go for the throat.
So here's Emmett again. Coming up to the last 5 minutes of this game. Short pass. McCarthy is tackled. Broadbent it was there to make the tackle. Duffy spoons the ball away to Robbie Paul. Robbie Paul back in fight. Donlan looking for a hat-trick. He's tackled by Katic. Can Barrow Raiders survive this? Duffy fancies it himself. He's just short. Fletcher there underneath his own posts. Robbie Paul now. Change of direction from him. They've got the overlap outside, but great defence again. Oh, they've lost the ball and Ballard has it. And Ballard picks it up. And Barrow Raiders just need to keep their cool now.
Tim Hartley just snatches at that. He looked at, had a little look up where the try line. Oh. But you look for that influence off Ian Millward. He was confident in this Leigh outfit going over for that try. Oh, he says no.
Plenty of time left in this game, lads. If Leigh can camp down here, if they can make Barrow work hard, Leigh will get another chance to attack that line.
Henderson trying to duck under the tackle there. And Rooney puts the kick in, and it's a good deep one, and Donlan fields it virtually on his own try line, turns and runs it back. Ballard with the tackle.
Now this is the last big 4-minute effort from this Barrow side.
Maiden across the field, looking to link up with Mitchell. Mitchell trying to make the break. Harrison with the tackle. Liam Harrison, once a Warrington youngster himself. Here's Tyrone McCarthy now. McCarthy hounded down, but gets the ball away. Oh, they've lost it. They've lost the ball, and Chris Young snaps it up. Young just on the field. What a contribution for him. Here's Katic now. Katic. Surely Steve McCormack on the sideline would have been saying, just keep a hold of it. That's what Leigh should have done.
Second with me.
And the Leigh crowd, so raucous a few moments ago, has gone quiet. Maybe the opportunity has gone. Here is Coyle now. Coyle taking him on himself. A Barrow Raiders try here.
Stay on, stay.
And then that could seal it. Broadbent. Here is Rooney. Rooney has already bamboozled them once tonight with his footwork. They weren't going to fall for it for a second time. Needs to be a good kick. Coyle. They're running it. Fletcher. Fletcher gets the ball back in field. It's still alive with Luisi. Luisi, though, surely will be tackled. And it will be the turnover. Where was the kick? Steve McCormack will be thinking.
But they've still turned the ball over, and it's in the corner of the park. So this Barrow side are cramming in as tight as they can. But it's really as good as a kick, though, that, Bill. Where they've turned the ball over, look where Leigh are.
Still 2.5 minutes to go.
They get number 10, Liam. Good.
McGrath Luluai plays that ball on. They've dropped it. They've lost it. Gareth Hewer says it went backwards.
And they have got to force the pass now.
Here is Tyrone McCarthy. Well, we said that this would be great experience for these young dual-registered players like McCarthy and Blythe. And this is great experience. The ball finds Hartley from Robbie Paul.
When you're in contests like this and you're playing against big physical pros who've played the game for years, like Sir Katic and that's Sir Brett McDermott, and there's Mitchell.
Chip over the top, finds Donlan, but Donlan's pass only lands in the arms of Chris Young, and Young is away again. He's been everywhere as Chris Young. He's scored a try. He's been there when the ball's popped up to intercept. And that, surely, well, you wouldn't say in this game, surely, is the last opportunity for this Leigh Centurion side. And a small group of Barrow Raiders supporters cheering their side on in the last almost minute now here at Leigh Sports Village. Henderson, Coyle, here is Zeb Luisi for Harrison, but Harrison goes without it. Into the last minute. Now then, it's all or nothing.
There's no advantage, you'll take the knock on.
It's all or nothing for this Leigh Centurion side. Robbie Paul gathers them in to pack the scrum down, but they're slow getting there.
Liam Harrison just couldn't gather that ball, and we've got just under or over 45 seconds left. I weren't very good at maths, but more than enough time for a set of 6.
Time on. Wait, gonna get your head in. Get in.
The clock's still running as that scrum has to be reset, and the seconds running out for Leigh Centurions to start their season with a win. They lost their opening 3 games in the championship at home last season, and they look as though they're going to suffer another home defeat this evening unless they can come up with something now in the last 20 seconds. They could yet do that. They could do it, because they come back in field with Maiden still going. Maiden is tackled. Last 10 seconds. Robbie Paul, what can he conjure up? Over the top to Matty Blythe, the hooter sounds. McCarthy, he'll chip and chase. The ball will ricochet. It's still alive. They're offside. They're offside. He's given the penalty. Halliwell was offside.
Correct decision from the referee. A difficult position to be in. You need tremendous discipline not to pick this ball up. Tyrone McCarthy stumbles a kick on.
Well, Mossop and then Halliwell go for it. And so, the last kick of the game will be a penalty attempt by Mick Nannin, who mysteriously hasn't been doing the bulk of the kicking for Leigh Centurions this evening.
He's a new player in a new club. Often there's an established player, and Mick Nannin will have to fight his way up that pecking order. Ian Millward will know that they've got out of jail here. They've done some good stuff. Tyrone McCarthy on the last tackle, he kicks that ball against Brett McDermott. They collide, everybody falls down. Mossop tries to grab it.
So Nannin, this to tie the game. The last kick of the game. Agony for the Barrow Raiders supporters. Can Nannin get this one on target? He surely has. Nannin has got a point for the Leigh Centurions, and the Barrow Raiders are on their knees, and Ian Millward knows that they have got out of jail there, because they were within seconds of suffering a home defeat. And it was a gallant second half performance from this Barrow Raiders side, who came back from 12-6 down to lead by 20 points to 12 with 8 minutes to go, and then they conceded that Donlan try, and Nannin's penalty goal in the last minute of the game, salvaging the point for the Leigh Centurions. Well, it has been a heroic effort from this Barrow Raiders side, none more so than Chris Young, a try scorer, umpteen interventions at crucial moments. Not surprisingly, he's man of the match. He's with Brian.
Chris, well, congratulations, you're tonight's man of the match. You've got a bottle of bubbly and £100 to the Benevolent Fund and £100 to the charity of your choice.
Oh, thanks, mate. I donate it to the Brendan Rooney Foundation. Yeah, cheers.
Worthy cause. How do you feel after that? Bit gutted, I'm sure, at the end of the game.
Oh, devastating. Like we started the game slow. Full credit to Leigh. They bashed us in the first half. Second half we come out, but then silly mistakes, and obviously like a silly penalty cost us the game, but full credit to Leigh, they hung in there and they got us at the end.
You personally, Chris, you must have been happy with your performance in that game. You showed a great turn of pace, set up or score a try, I think, there in the end.
Yeah, I wouldn't say pace, but I dropped the ball a couple of times. We're slowly getting there. We've training in a few postponed games. All the boys are still a bit sluggish, but hopefully, next week we're firing to get a win.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations. We'll move on. We'll have a word with your coach. Congratulations on the man of the match. Steve, I don't know what to say at the end there. You must be devastated.
Oh, not really. I mean, obviously disappointed. We'd like to win the game. I think it was a fantastic game in rugby league, to be honest, and maybe a fair result. I think Leigh were the better side in the first half. I thought we were the better side in the second half, and as Chris has just said, all credit to Leigh. They kept on going to that final whistle, and I still think it's 2 points game for us. It would have been nice to get 3, but probably a draw's a fair result.
Steve, what were your thoughts at half-time? You were 12-6 down, you were under the cosh for those 40 minutes, and the defence your team had to do, you were down a couple of people through injuries. Were you scared you were going to be low on energy?
It is a concern, I think, when you do that amount of defending in the first half. Obviously losing Nixon with looks like a badly broken arm, and then losing Braychek within 2 or 3 minutes of the game didn't help. But all credit to the lads' second half. We had a few words and we had to step it up. I thought Leigh dominated pretty much all parts of the game first half. Second half, all credit to our lads. I thought we were very good at times, and just failed to hang on for that last second.
Steve McCormack, thank you very much.
So not that disheartened, the Barrow Raiders coach. Gallant effort from his side in adversity, you have to say. Nixon injured early on, no Braychek for the bulk of the game, so 20 points apiece. Donlan with 2 tries, and so close to a hat-trick, Stuart Donlan, in that game, and a great contribution from Chris Young there, among the Barrow Raiders try scorers as well. And Rooney's goal kicking not at its best tonight, and a great crowd as well, 2,203 here to see another championship thriller. Not maybe what the coaches were hoping to see, and I wonder what Ian Millward thought of it. He's with Brian Carney now.
Ian Millward, you've seen a lot of games in your illustrious career. That's a heck of a start to the new season.
Yeah, it was. It was a bit of a nail-biter, wasn't it? We played really well in the first half, but obviously after half-time there, we come up with some defensive errors and some completion errors, which put a lot of pressure on his field position and energy, and obviously a toll on the scoreboard.
You made the decision to take 2 points at the end of the first half. You had a lot of possession, a lot of time on the Barrow line, but just couldn't seem to crack them.
Oh, actually the players looked at me and what to do there, and obviously my thoughts are win a game first, and then second thing is we still had enough time then if we did come down here. You've got to back your ability, and also back that if you don't score, you're going to get in the arm wrestle, and I'm sure there's been plenty of nights at St Helens people thought, why did we go for 2 points? We've got to win, and that's got to be the same philosophy here.
Ian Millward, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
So a long way to go in the season for these championship sides.